Hello, and welcome to episode 190 of Dissonant Waves. Trix, Ritz, and Domino are all here once again. I am the one playing the role of Domino today. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I will be playing Delirious Tricks today.
Okay. And Ritalin plays Ritalin.
Yeah, I was like,
Yes.
is there a follow-up there, Trix? But apparently not. That's how delirious she is.
I'll take a bong rip for that.
I think she was expecting that to, oh, there we go.
Yeah, it came through a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta...
Yeah, that was the end as I was clearing it.
Anyway,
Alright, well, that was a massive failure. We love those.
we got a pretty standard episode. We got an album by Gizzard the Lizard Wizard, which I picked, Fishing for Fishies. Ritz, you picked a new album by Twine called New Old Horse. Trix, you did the slightly new and different thing that we always look for by picking a Shakey Graves fan album, the live album we all deserve.
Yes.
Which, basically means that someone just took a bunch of live recordings, slammed them together, made some art, and put it on YouTube.
Yep.
Which is valid. It's a fun little project.
Now, I want to stray away from everything that we plan to do this week to ask a question of a controversy that I want to ask if either of you have heard of this week. Did either of you hear of the Gel controversy?
Gel?
Gel, it's a band, a hardcore band. Well, it was a
No.
hardcore band.
Oh,
I
wait.
feel like,
wait.
yeah.
Is
I
this
feel
the
like
one about
every
the...
time
this-
a crazy moment of hardcore comes out when it needs to be mentioned? Sorry, now you can ask the question, Dominic.
Is this the one about the guy that, was handling all the bank account shit and everything?
Yeah, in a way. It's not as bad as the, oh, I guess not as bad as it's not the term to use. It's not as wild as the one who, force-fed the singer estrogen in a way to steal the girlfriend. That was I think it's a singer.
I was thinking about that one.
It's not that one. This is the former guitarist had used all the bank account stuff on OnlyFans. One that's actually a lot of people don't really mention that's happened in there as well is that he was posting nude photos of the band on Reddit without the permission. In fact, one that no one's talking about in our statement because they've all gone with the whole gooning aspect. But
Goon.
there was a moment on this in this controversy where everybody thought that they had put out one last song. It turns out I think it was like someone had just posted it on the Spotify under the whole the name, and it does that. Spotify will fuck up with these younger bands and just push out the fake songs to these profiles from time to time. But someone had grabbed the well, supposedly I didn't get to hear it, but from the descriptions what it was. Someone had grabbed a statement, done like an AI text-to-speech, and put it over a country song, like a country backing track, and then released it as the song Gooners under their name.
Huh. That's fucked up.
Kinda hilarious, I'm not gonna lie.
Anyway, Shakey Graves.
Yeah.
Is Late July the
I
song we've
guess-
heard the most on this show at this point?
Either Late July or
Roll the Bones.
Roll the Bones. Or maybe even Unlucky Skin.
Make it stop. Make it stop. I told you, Trix, a while back, I don't hate the live Shakey Graves stuff. Stop making me hate it. It's good. I'm just listening to too much of the same on this and talking about it. It's insanity.
We're gonna keep doing Shakey Graves until I grow tired of Shakey Graves, which is never gonna happen because I was still
know.
falling in love with these songs.
I can't fucking get out of my head that when I fucking play it, I was tired of Shakey Graves and I'm like, I'm gonna play a fucking video game to calm down, and it was that fucking Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and then the fucking credits come on and it's like I can't expect Shakey Graves. Can't expect Shakey Graves.
Did you really just do that to yourself?
He did. He posted about it a while ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a while back. Anyway, it's a good live album. It's everything that I've said about Shakey Graves live before is still the same on this. Someone mentioned on the comments of the YouTube video that put on this that this should be an official album because it's the best version of it, best live version of everything. I don't know if I agree that it should be a live album.
I
Because
don't either.
I don't really agree.
Yeah, nor that I
Do you
think
want to
it's the
hear
best live
my
version.
blazing take?
Sure.
Well, sure, because I got nothing else to say.
This is a mediocre Shakey Graves live album.
I mean, yeah, because it doesn't carry any of the energy from track to track because they're all cut from different things.
Yeah.
Yes. And it also doesn't have any audience interaction, I've noticed.
There's one that has like some yelling at the end, but like that's it.
There's one, but that it's barely, it's nothing like West of Calgary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there were some new songs, it seemed like. Early songs I don't remember right away.
There were two. There was one of my favorites, which let me pull up the track list real
Was it
quick.
The Many Man or Tomorrow?
Once in a While.
Once in a While.
We've done Tomorrow was already covered. Tomorrow was on West of Calgary.
Okay.
But we have not done Once in a While and The Many Man.
I like The Many Man. That was like interesting and new.
It was. I actually really liked. I've never actually heard that version of Once in a While, and Once in a While is actually one of my favorite Shakey Graves songs. And this version of it is entirely different than the studio version.
Makes sense. I mean, it's Shakey Graves. He's gonna do a million different things and do it the way he wants, and it's gonna sound different. It's gonna sound the same. He's a virtuoso. Like, what can you say?
Yeah.
Obviously, I still like the songs that I like. Roll the Bones is still fun. Unlucky Skin, Bully's Lament, The Waters. All the hits are here. Chinatown's not here.
Oh, it's not?
No.
No, it's not. I was looking at Christopher Columbus. That's how fucking tired I am.
I gotta agree with Dominic saying this is no West of Calgary. We're not having a full-fledged live set from beginning to end, or even live at the Fox where you got all those little moments that happen in between songs that makes it feel like a bit more of an experience. And this is a good compilation of live songs. It really is.
Yeah,
but it's not a good album in full. It's a compilation, which goes, okay, well, it's already lost a bunch of points for that. Are they the best versions of every song? Probably not. Is it the best live album because it has the best version of every song, regardless of that? And the answer is no, because what makes a great live album is something that makes you feel like you're actually like remembering a concert or something.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to make you feel like you are there or you were there. It just needs to make you think that you are at the show or kind of thinking about a show kind of finish. And I don't get that. I just feel like it's just a bunch of live versions which are better than the studio version. I will die on that hill for Shakey Graves, probably till I die.
That's fine.
But he's a better live artist than a studio artist. I've said that many times before, and this is a quick one to kind of really go through because I feel like we've kind of already said everything about Shakey Graves live. There isn't anything realistically new to say here other than there's a couple of songs that we haven't covered properly or anything. But that's realistically not going to hold up.
I mean, my criticism for this person putting this together, like, I think the thing you missed out on is having more Shakey Graves, like just talking.
Yeah,
like he's really good at storytelling and really good at like wowing the audience and wooing the audience and all that stuff. Like he has a little bit at the beginning, a little bit toward the end, but like that would not happen. That's not how that would work.
No. I do really like the two spoken word tracks though, where it's talking about the history of the name Shakey Graves and the lore behind Droopy Wieners.
Sure.
Yeah, which is literally at the start and finish, and it's both with late July, if I'm correct.
No,
it's Dearly Departed.
Yeah, the House is Haunted track.
Yep.
Yeah.
My apologies. I know.
That's a great version of that track.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But again, that's not really, much of an interaction that we're hearing or anything like that. It's audio tree. And you watch the audio tree sessions or the KEXP sessions when they happen on the YouTube the same way that you watch a Tiny Desk. And I think you constantly always go back to the full Tiny Desk because you go, this is the best release or the best album. But they still are a little interesting. And I guess Tiny Desk is probably actually a bit of a bad comparison to do with that because that usually does actually have some audio audience. So interaction, like
I
just remember Tyler the Creator one or Blue Man Group one, those two. So I'm gonna throw out the Tiny Desk one out of that, but Audio Tree or KEXP.
Plus, I think the best
This-
Late July version was on the Fox one, Live with the Fox.
Mhm.
So it's
I
not
would
here.
like to mention with the 2013 Audio Tree Live EP from Shakey Graves is genuinely some of his best. Like it's not a live performance. It's a way to put it. It's a live recording of the song, and it's one of the better ones of it.
I mean, yeah, I've seen it. It's good. I can't deny
Like
that.
there's a reason it's on here so much.
But I do think it lacks the power of watching it because A, it's broken up, and B, you're not seeing it.
Yes, I get you.
Like those are made to be seen.
They are.
Like, and you can sometimes really enjoy the like if you're just listening to like the live tracks or the live recordings just in audio form, like the recent Your Arms Are My Cocoon live stuff that was put out last year or so. Like that sounds pretty good, like by itself. Like you watch it, like for real, it's like, oh shit, there's a lot happening here.
There are a few Audio Tree lives that I do go back to. Like I go back to the Beach Bunny Audio Tree live album more than I go back to any other Beach Bunny album.
We need to do our like audio tree episode.
We do.
Yeah, I'll just pitch it here since we don't have that much to also talk about. I was thinking we could each choose like you want to do levitation sessions at one point, and then one of us chooses audio tree, and
Yes.
then one of us chooses like another one, and then we like bring.
I want to pick the whole
KEXP or
life of-
something.
I want to pick the whole just study like a version for a week. That was one of my more out there picks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like we would pick like two like samples from each different version and like compare and contrast and see how each one handles what it's doing.
Yeah.
That's an idea I've had kicking around for a while. But maybe Shakey Graves will appear there. Maybe someone else will appear there. The world is open.
Shakey Graves will eternally be on the podcast. Do not worry.
I've come to terms with it, but it's funny if
Unofficial fourth member, Shakey Graves.
That means our 6 degrees of separation from Spy Kids is very, very minimal now.
Yes. Imagine if we could nail an interview at some point.
That'd be great.
Is that a segue? Not because we got two more fucking albums to talk about. So what is the favorites and least favorites from this track? So I'm gonna let you choose. Not what's your turn, just you choose.
Oh, favorites. There's no least favorites for me, obviously. Favorites for me will go Built to Rome. It's a good version of Built to Rome. Well, Once in a While. I love Once in a While. The Many Man was great. Not a big fan of that version of Tomorrow. I like the studio version of that one more. Word of Mouth I liked. A great version of Dearly Departed. Yeah.
That's crazy. I just so happen to agree with absolutely everything that you said there.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Though I do have to.
Wow.
Cowards.
I do have to ask Trix, which version of Late July is better?
Oh. I don't know. I like the intro version a bit better.
So the last one's your least favorite, then.
No.
You like it less, therefore it's your least favorite.
I wouldn't go as far to say that, but alright.
A 3.5 compared to a 3.6 or 3.5 is still lesser.
Fair enough. I'm not going to say it, but Dominic can say it.
Look at that, I agree too. Wow, look at that. Alright. Since we're on the topic of things we've covered before, King Gizzard.
Yeah, and this is a Dominic choice, and I feel like I should do the introduction because it's very heavily related to a pick I did a long time ago.
Also a pick you did really recently.
Yes. So King Gizzard, Fishing for Fishies. This feels like an old one because King Gizzard have done a lot of albums since.
This is
And
their other
most-
2019 release.
Yes, it's the other
Yeah.
2019 release, and when we say other, this isn't like, oh, they had another. No, this is related to Infest the Rat's Nest. Despite the fact that this probably sounds like it's related more to Flight B741 or whatever the title was.
That is the title.
Yep. This is related to Infestor Rats.
It's also related to more, too.
Yes. Yes, it does have the whole kind of rapping Gizverse lore, blah, 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 blah.
Well, no, not
getting
just
into
that.
Gizverse.
This is also, like, the other parts of the sessions from the Hat Jam with Tropical Fuckstorm.
Yep.
So, like, a lot of this was done at the same time as the Dripping Tap.
Yep.
Which, you know, Omnium Gatherum is, like, some of my favorite King Giz stuff. So, like, this being somewhat related, like, timing-wise and, like, recording-wise is interesting.
And look, I think it would have been funny that if we never did King Gizzard after Infestor Rat's Nest and just went onto this, and you two just went, wait, what the fuck are we listening to?
Yeah.
Because this isn't as crazy as 2019 Giz actually was, because we've gone and listened to everything. I know there was a lot of other King Gizzard albums out there to touch, especially some of their earlier stuff. And I mean, there's like a spaghetti western album out there, but that's early into this one.
Yeah, there's a lot they've done. There's like so many different little nestles and niches and things.
I remember when I bought a ticket to the King Gizzard concert that was happening around this time. Like, they hadn't even put out the first single for Infestor Rat's Nest, so like Fishing for Fishies is what everyone thought they were going to tour, and they did tour parts of it. But then, like 2 weeks before the fucking the concert, it was like maybe not that little. I think it was a bit more. They started dropping. It would have been Planet Bead and Self-Immolate, and like, okay, so we're actually getting a thrash metal concert, and it is a related album because Fishing for Fishies is basically the concept of like we can do so much more to solve like the climate crisis, and then Infestor Rat's Nest is basically okay, but we did it, and this is where we're at.
Yeah, there is no Planet B.
Yeah.
That's the context going into it. I know Dominic was the one who picked it this week, so I shouldn't have done the introduction, but I think it's just fitting.
I mean, like I said, I wanted to do more 2019 stuff because we were so, shunted that year because that was our first year.
Yeah, we didn't cover that much 2019 stuff. I think we only did like the dedicated episodes.
Like we did a few,
really.
But like we started in August, so we were just behind the game no matter what.
I should get through the bloody list right now. I haven't updated my list of what we've covered in a playlist for a long time, but I'll keep it.
I can bring it up for you right now.
Yeah, I'll get to the start. But I know we did like Petite League. We would have done I've got the list of stuff that we did that year. We did Bag Raiders and we did LSD. That was the first 2019 albums. And Tricks ended up winning out of that week in hindsight.
Yeah. I mean,
yes.
I still like those Bag Raiders tracks that I like. Those couple that I was into. Oh man.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad. It's just that when it comes into hindsight, which album of them as a full album was the best? I mean, we all knew LSD wasn't going to be it. So
yeah,
let's not kid ourselves. And then I'm looking at what else we did. We did Thelma Plum, Japanese Wallpaper, and it looks like Burke or something. I don't know if that was a specific 2019 one.
Let me look at it. Hold on. Yeah, it was I think one of those it was a new release. The other one was like I think Return to wherever was a new release.
Yeah. And then we did Infestor Rat's Nest, Here Comes the Cowboy, and Rust from Low Roar, which I guess rest in peace to Low Roar. That's like all one do.
Yeah.
That was kind of I don't forget. Apparently, there's a posthumous Low Roar album.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, that was
like last month.
I mean, Low War got the most popular around this time because of Death Stranding, and that's why I picked it at the time.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, the passing is gutting, but
yeah, the project is discontinued, but a posthumous album was released last month. Well, there you go. That's a wild thing to think about. But yeah, like that was it. That was the 2019 albums that we did. We're all kind of coming into like, what is this podcast? What are we doing? Blah blah blah. I was more like, okay, I'm just gonna pick nothing but Australian, which definitely not hold up, but I did try to stick to that a bit these days.
You're doing all right still.
Still more Australian than you do. But
Who? Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be picking some Australians soon.
Um. So yes, it was a very small year for that. We have come back and since covered some 2019 works. I know we definitely went into Somewhere City from Oregon Angel.
Of course.
Yep.
Fucking other ones that we would have come back onto, but
Mouse and Tui.
Black Midi,
Chinese
Gucci.
football.
Mouse and
Yep.
Tui is a weird one because that was very late 2019.
Sure.
2020 Circle, but yes, that was a 2020.
Rave tapes.
Yep. Lightning Bolt.
Amel and the Sniffers.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll definitely come back and go like, hey, yeah, there is some good stuff in this year that we didn't cover back then.
But
So I guess the question is now, is this an album that is actually worth coming back to? Because I have not really come back to this album in the past years, not out of hatred or anything, but just when I think of 2019 a King Gizzard album, I always went to Fest the Reds.
Yeah. I have a way I've been describing this album to friends, which is King Gizzard scored a Home Depot ad.
I don't know if I believe that really, but like
Nah, I disagree. I think this was a better Fight Beef at 741.
that's kind of where I come to is like, hey, Flight B741 was not actually that out of pocket for them. They basically did it before.
Yeah.
And I think
I'm not saying I hate it. I'm just saying this makes me want to buy power tools.
This was considered the King Gizzard Boogie album.
And it's a little more fun, I think, than Flight B741.
Yeah.
Despite its depressing nature.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
fishing for fishies is basically an ode to veganism. In the case of it's having this kind of very like depressive point of view of fishing and just kind of like someone's regret, I guess, of catching a fish.
it's a very fuck plastic kind of album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Plastic Boogie, I think, is the one that literally goes, fuck all of that plastic, fuck all of that plastic.
But then you get shit like Acarin has that really fucking ripping harmonica solo.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Or my personal favorite from this album, and it was the one that I remember, like, I put in my top 100 that year, was this thing, which has, like, a really kicking fucking harmonica intro.
Yeah.
And who could forget the Boogeyman Sam? Like, that's just kind of an earworm.
Or the somehow an outlier on this album, but yet still fitting, Cyborgy, which was the lead single into this.
So, I mean, like, overall, I would say, compared to Flight B741, which, you know, I can kind of, like, think about some of the songs. I don't think anything, like, really holds a candle to what's going on here.
Nah, this is... It holds up a lot better than I expected it to. I still think I prefer Infest the Rat's Nest, memory alone, but I'm happy to go back to Infest the Rat's Nest as much as I thought I would.
Infest the Rat's Nest has been on my rotation since 2019.
As it should be. I mean, there's good songs like with... I personally believed at the time Miles for the Rich was the best of that. I think I've gone back and said, nah, Self-Immolate actually is a fucking banger.
I actually, for me, I would even go Venusian 2.
Venusian 2. I can still remember Infest the Rat's Nest, like, basically from start to finish. And I haven't listened to it in a year.
I mean, you know, I definitely have come to appreciate Infest the Rat's Nest a little more that I've been on this journey. But I still ultimately hold the same opinion that I did back then.
That's fair.
I think Here Comes the Cowboy is the better album.
That's not fair.
I'd have to A-B them. I might have to... I'm off tomorrow. I might just be smoking weed in the Mac DeMarco and
Falling asleep.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I came to really, really like Mac DeMarco in a way that I like King Gizzard a lot, but not the same way yet. Like, One Lane G was my favorite album of that year.
Yeah.
So, like, I think it makes sense that I would like Mac DeMarco more sometimes.
She Want the Sandwich is, like, wormed its way into every one of my playlists.
Stratocaster's a great song.
Yeah.
I think a true thing that we kind of, like, have to go into eventually with King Gizzard as well is the demo albums, especially Volume 1 and 2, which had a lot of the demos from around not just the the 2018, but the 2019. I guess the 20. What was it? Would have been 2017. Sorry, five albums in a year, and the 2019 work. And it had a bunch of the demos for that. It had a very early version of Fishing for Fishies, I'm pretty sure, on it. Yeah, it does, which was instrumental. It sounded a lot more math rocky than it did boogie.
Interesting.
It's interesting in that case to see how these songs actually came to be. Some of these songs as well that we have got on these demos compilation as well ended up being in future ones. Like Automation was like this song that sounded like it was supposed to be on a Festa Rat's Nest, and it ended up in KG.
Yeah.
That's I think what's going to be the next eventual step for when we cover King Gizzard next, or either that or something like Eyes Like the Sky.
I mean, like, we only have gone as far back as Nonagon Infinity. There's still plenty to go before that. There's still things.
I might pull out 12 Bar Brews at some point.
Which is, I believe, their first actual album.
Yes.
Yes. Surf Giz.
I still want to cover, like, the earliest stuff. I think just hearing where it all began is always going to be cool.
Yeah. I have 34 King Gizzard albums on my computer, and that's not their full discography.
Yeah?
I believe it.
There's a lot of live stuff that they've had out there, a lot of demo stuff. In fact, I don't have any of the live stuff since 2022. Got nothing from last year as well.
Yeah,
I've still got 34 albums.
When we were doing One Wing G, I was very tempted to do Live at Red Rocks 22.
Oh yeah, which is I don't have that on there, but that was like all the Red Rocks.
Yeah, it's
it's
over
like
500 minutes.
Yeah, it's like a 90-song album, if I'm correct.
86.
86, okay. Well, I was close. But yeah, the
no
demos then. We got the
86.
very early stuff. Jokes, you like Surf Giz? Well, there's also a Teenage Gizzard, where the album art for that is the Gizzard on the surfboard.
Yeah. I haven't actually listened to
there-
Teenage Giz.
Yeah, well, that's the early EPs and stuff, basically, as well. That's more Surf Giz. I don't think we've actually talked that much about Fishing for Fishies as an album, to be honest in this, but I don't think it's one that there's much to talk about, really, other than just it's a boogie album. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good album, actually.
It's an album that
start to finish.
It's an album that I think we should have covered at some point.
Yeah.
It's kind of blotting in the dot in a sense, like, and maybe it's too late now.
Yeah, its biggest problem right now is that it's a King Gizzard album, and that just means that it's going to be lost in the sauce of King Gizzard albums. Would you personally say this is your favorite King Gizzard album?
No.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Trix was like, yeah, for a second. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, I said no.
You said yeah. Don't
said
lie.
Did I
yeah.
say yeah?
You did say
Yeah,
yes.
I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Exactly. That's the point. There'll probably be some people out there that have it in their top 5, and probably a couple that say, yes, my favorite is Fishing for Fishy. There'll probably be a lot of people who preferred it to Infest the Rat's Nest. That's fine. That's how music taste works and stuff. But if you've gone through every single King Gizzard album, not including the live or the demo, but if you've gone through every single King Gizzard album and somehow Fishing for Fishies is your favorite, you're in a minority.
Yeah.
I mean, you might really like CCR.
Yeah.
Maybe you just or that just one of my Flight 7 or B741 or something. Like I can see some guardrails that would lead you there, but
the popularity and critical acclaim went to Infest the Rat's Nest that year.
Yeah.
That, just when it comes to what was people's favorite from that year alone, it's not the winner. And then the albums that came out before that, I mean, Not a God Infinity and Flying Microtronal Banana are probably the most commercially successful albums. Some of the most critically acclaimed as well. Especially Not a God Infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got albums before that, you got albums after that are more interesting and important. So like
King Giz is one of those few bands that's in competition with themselves.
I don't think there's like nothing worth talking about here. I think there is. Like,
oh yeah.
It's not the bottom of the barrel. It's not like it's not Flight B741, for example.
No.
Where I think that album will become one of the more forgotten ones.
Yeah.
Like this at least has some cool tracks, some really interesting fun moments, like some good harmonica. You know, it does the thing that Flight does first. So like that's the one you could point to and be like, yeah, they did it.
I will say this was a good album to wash dishes to.
It's good kitchen music, I see. Or just
Yeah.
washing dishes.
Kitchen dishes. So yeah, I threw this was the album I'd throw on at the end of the night when it's like, okay, I gotta wash dishes.
Shall we go favorites, least favorites on this?
Yeah.
I'll
Sure.
start. Favorites, Fishing for Fishies and This Thing are my personal favorites. So I do have shout outs to like the kind of, well, I guess distorted, not really that much, but like rougher intro to Real's Not Real. I think is the highlight of that track. The rest of the song, I don't know, it fizzles out a little bit too much. Psy Boogie is a great electronic boogie track that they do at the end of this, which completely it's a complete outlier. I feel like shout out. Least favorites probably the bird song.
Yeah.
I like Acheron a lot. I like Boogeyman Sam. Birdsong. I do like the Birdsong. Cruel Millennial has some really nice instrumental passages. My least favorite probably is something like Fishing for Fishies or Side Boogie.
Wow.
Favorites for me, Plastic Boogie, This Thing, Arcanine. Least favorite for me is Real's Not Real. Did I say Arcanine?
Yes.
Yes. I love Pokemon.
I don't know where that came from.
Acheron, I think.
We know.
But least favorite for me is Real's Not Real because that's the one to me that sounded like a fucking Home Depot commercial.
That's fair.
Sure.
All right. Now for the last album of the week.
Now for the new.
Yeah.
Old Horse by Twine. This is a December 2024 release, I'm pretty sure. Yes, it would have been. I think everything I was picking was.
Yes.
They're all around a time.
Made in Adelaide. Mixed in
Made
Chicago.
in Adelaide, yes.
Mastered in Chicago, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I described and said which one did you want to pick out of this, and I think I described this as slowcore, and I think that's still an apt description.
This has all been really just like smooth listening this week.
Yeah.
Except for the explosions that happened in this.
I guess.
This was also probably the least listenable pick for the kitchen.
This is probably, in my opinion, one of the more interesting bands coming out of the slowcore scene in Australia at the moment. And I know it's like, oh look, they've just added in a violin. Yeah, and it works. Different than what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, I like the violin.
It's so cleanly produced at the right times, but then it allows it to be rough when it needs to. And it allows those explosions that happen in the sound. When I say explosions, I don't mean like literal explosion. But I mean, it will just pick up, just drop heavy, and it feels like the actual production's kind of changed in it. Well, it's mastered perfectly to really encapsulate what they want the song to sound like. You have songs like My God, which have just basically this clean, little soft violin coming in that's, very soothing. And I would not call those choruses of that song soothing at all.
No, I mean, this is, this gives me shades of Wednesday. In some ways, I get shades of Radiohead.
I mean, the closest comparable artist I would say from like the Australian scene is Mouse.
Yeah,
because it has that country twang to it.
But like the singer has like some of that, like it's definitely a singer that like you either jive with or you don't.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of nasally, kind of off pitch at times, kind of loses it a little bit, but it has some of that Tom York energy to it that I'm interested in.
There's a full commitment to the vocals that's happening. Well,
yeah,
I feel like that really kind of just helps push past all that.
Like the passion always is what helps it go forward.
Well, like probably the least soothing song out of all this. I mean, if we're gonna say a soothing song, we can't put in Fruit to Ripe.
No.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. into that happening multiple times. So it's a 2.5-minute track, and it's just chaos the whole fucking way. Love it. Mwah. I just love the chaos that happens on this album, but it's not like chaos in claustrophobia pop type of.
No, this
of
is
chaos.
just chaos.
It's very structured chaos, yes, but it's not like you have to find anything behind the chaos to enjoy it. It is the chaos is what you're enjoying.
Like this is one of those albums that for me, a lot of it's like, this sounds all right. I like this. This is fine. But it has like some really specific standouts that I really like. Like Same Old Problems is like a highlight for me. New Old Horse and High Tide Loose Change. And like there's some stuff in between, like Fruit to Ripe and My God. Like that, the second half I think is better overall. But like it's one of those interesting ones where it's like you kind of get immersed in the tone and the vibe, and that's kind of what matters the most.
Yeah, I feel like we've had a lot of albums that are great because they really experiment with the sound that they've created. And this is not quite on like this is the whole most like large range you'll ever see on an album. You know, it has contrast, don't get me fucking wrong about it. But I'd say its only real big flaw is that there is still so much that they could be doing with the sound that they've created.
Yeah. But it's their debut, right? So like
yes,
there is at least that kind of like thing to look forward to, is that there's more. There could be more.
All songs that Twine have out are on this album, which is a full discography. In a sense, you could probably call this a compilation, because I think some of the stuff's been out since like 2022.
I mean, Same Old Problems is 2021.
Yep.
New Cleaner is just a new version of Cleaner.
Yep. My God was 2023, I know that for sure, because it was in my 200 that year, and Future Exiles was in my 100 last year. You know, this is a band that I've...
No, what about Sea Change?
Come more into. Sea Change. Oh, that's an old one, sorry.
I think that might be the only one that's not here.
I retract my statement of full discography.
unless they changed it. Like
I don't think they did.
I guess you gotta cut something.
Yeah. I mean, this is not a short album, despite the 10 tracks, so it's nearly 50 minutes, so any debut that goes for more than 40 is usually considered a long debut.
And like some of them are like some of them are like over 6.5 minutes. So like
yeah,
there's
at least some like girth to some of these songs.
I love that description. Yeah. Does your song have girth? What?
I need some girth.
You know, there are people that
every song. I'll let you go first. Sorry.
There are people that are only happy when songs are like 2.5, 3 minutes long. It's like that's fine. That's fine. But you got to appreciate sometimes when they're just songs that are girthy, like go for 6.5 minutes, 7 minutes, and like they're worth it. You know, it's not for everybody necessarily. But that's the fun of it. And in a slowcore album like this, especially where it's slower, time slows down, there's gonna be longer songs. It just works to me.
Yeah, well, that's what I was gonna say. Is that every song on here feels like they at least like gave it the time to build the track that they think it needs. Now, it doesn't mean that it's always perfect. You know, there are definitely some moments on here where you go and say, all right, I think they've spent a little bit too much time on this and like that. You know, the song can progress now, but still, it's not like they've gone and said like, oh yeah, every track needs to be like a 3-minute standard or any standard fucking flow happening on this. It feels like an album of individual tracks in a sense as well.
Like it flows, it goes. It's not like it's like
it's not like it's disjointed or anything.
Yeah, it's not disjointed, but it's also not like necessarily a sum of its parts leading to anything special.
It's not like I could say that the track listing is wrong or anything on this either. I don't think I would change the track listing on this. I think it could be different ways that we can go exploring this album's sound that would elevate it. But yeah, it's a debut, and this is really good for a debut.
It is.
I like the art. Like I like the horses.
Yeah, the cardboard cutout and the kind of like photos happening on it. It's a very adorable art. I believe it was a distribution between both Kitty Records and Sawhorse, despite trying, I believe, being independent.
Here's a random weird question. How many bands do you think we've covered that have horse in the title?
I can look that up.
Like with the album art or the album name, sorry. What
Just
is the band?
the band, I'm thinking.
All right.
There's like Horse Jumper of Love
Horse
is coming
Jumper
to
of Love.
mind.
Yeah.
Did we cover a band just called Horse?
There's
Yes.
definitely a band.
Feeble
called,
Little Horse.
yes,
Feeble Little Horse. That was the other
Not just
one.
called Horse, but I think I have seen a band that's just called Horse. Let me check.
There's Horse Girl.
Oh
Yeah, but I don't think we covered them though.
No, we have not covered them.
No, I have seen a band that's called Horse, but yeah, we definitely covered them.
Maybe there's Shakey Graves'
Wait.
album, Shakey Graves and the Horse he wrote in on.
Yes.
There's a band called Pulled Apart by Horses, but I don't think we've seen that. Is there any pony names that we covered? I know we haven't done Pony up.
We did Pony Time.
That's true, yes.
That is right. We did Pony Time.
We got a couple that we've done.
So, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Short week for covering these albums, but that's just how it goes sometimes.
Sometimes you got a short one.
When we
haven't
have.
picked any albums that have been like very varied in the content.
Like, when we
That's-
pick two that we know really well, some of those conversations go pretty quick because it's like, yeah. It's those same Shakey Graves songs.
It's more King Gizzard.
You know, when you roll the dice,
This is the newest out of all of those.
you don't get sixes all the time. You know,
No. They can't all be zingers.
new old horse,
But this one is.
same old problems.
Hell yeah. And yeah, the thing that really is the main takeaway from this album is just try and sound.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in a sense it's slowcore, but just hearing the way that it's all produced, hearing how they've written their songs around it, even if they are getting very kind of similar in their styles, to the point where you could probably say if you listen bits and pieces of this album, probably piece a lot of it together. That being said, quality of the songs can still change.
Yeah.
For personal opinion, but I do just love hearing these build-ups, these explosions, which have some very satisfying payoffs. It gets near shoegazy at times with the production because it's just that kind of compressed, but not like so compressed that you can't hear the different instruments happening into it. Yeah, it's very shoegazy sound. The vocals on it being very, I'd say near over singing a lot of the time. I guess is another way of saying it because they are very passionate, but it does. It's not crying at tones tonight.
no, but it's like it's very much like you got to be able to commit to this in a way.
Yeah.
Like this could get very grating for some people, I think, but I think it works if you're willing to play ball.
Yes.
I should also point out that one of the members of Twine and one of the members of Swap Meet, who we've also covered, are in another band together as well, called the Empty Threats. They are another Adelaide-based band. So if you wanted to say that the Adelaide scene was incestuous, you might be correct.
Many scenes are incestuous, it turns out.
Have you guys seen how incestuous the Chicago punk scene is?
Do we remember the Indiana punk scene that we've covered so far?
It is more incestuous than the Indiana punk scene.
That's fair.
Like they're like I will go on Wikipedia deep dives and just like scratch the surface, and like there's everyone's in like 5 different bands, and they all hate each other,
Okay.
Yeah.
and like they're all playing with each other.
We love animosity breaking through and destroying everything. Great,
Yes.
fantastic.
All right. Favorites, least favorites of this. I'll start off. Favorites, My God, which is fantastic track. Honestly, I probably should have had that in my top 100 that year, but oh well. Fruit to Ripe, Future Exhales, and Same Old Problems. I mean, shout out to Spine, which opens with the line about peeing your pants.
Oh, a real
Rock and
Alex
roll,
G
pee my
moment.
pants.
Yeah. There's a couple of lyrical moments. I'll try and get them up before we finish up this episode. But I think most of them are on Spine.
Nobody even noticed I quoted Phil Elverum.
I know the Rock and Roll Peed My Pants. Yeah, that was the microphones of 2020.
Yes.
Least favorites probably something like Between States.
Honestly, Between States was probably one of my favorites.
This is the line from Spine, by the way. It's hiding underneath the playground. I piss my pants and play around. I flop around like a fish. No pressure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Piss your pants. Live a little. Put your dick in a salad dressing bottle.
What the fuck? Okay.
I mean, if you go and look at some of the lyrical content as well, it makes sense why there's this kind of whole like chaotic, panicky kind of vocals happening into it. I mean, the
Yeah.
future XLs on there. There's like a whole line that's basically paranoia about having a stroke. Anyway,
My favorites: Same Old Problems, New Old Horse, High Tide, Loose Change. My least favorites, probably like Sleeping Dogs or Spine.
Favorites for me, as I said, Between States. I'll also say Same Old Problems. And I'll cop out and say no least favorites.
Okay.
um,
So
did
number
you say
one
your
is
favorite
obviously
service?
Twine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, number one's Twine. Number two for me is Fishing for Fishies. Number three is Shakey Graves.
Yeah.
Wasn't even the hard one this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's done.
I'll swap Shakey Graves and King Giz.
All right. You can. You're allowed to. All right, but that's Twine Universal number one. Congrats, Ritz, again.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm good at this.
Everyone clap. Please clap. Anyway.
My partner's staring at me weirdly. Clapping.
What are we doing
I'm never
next?
going down
Well,
again.
next week, we are doing an interview.
Ooh. But what are we doing the week after that?
That's a great question. I'll go first.
Okay.
I picked the 2025 album. And by picked it, I mean I basically did the equivalent of throwing a dart. And I picked a band I never heard of called Tongue, Tunng. Their album Love You All Over Again.
Okay.
So I'll let you go next because I'll go last.
Okay. I've mentioned this before, but I want to do a real deep dive on an artist. And I feel there's an artist that we all kind of appreciate, but we don't really appreciate enough. Don't worry, Ritz. It's not Shakey Graves. You can rest easy.
I know it's a like artist, so come on, just put it out.
We're going to be talking about the Philadelphia-based band Dr. Dog. But before we can talk about Dr. Dog, we have to talk about Toby and Keith's original side project, Raccoon.
Oh.
So we will be covering Raccoon's self-titled and their other one, which I'm linking right now, Strange Terrain.
Yeah, that is a old album.
They are from
2000.
2001 and 2002.
Interesting.
So, I did say that I was gonna do 3 albums, in a way, and I will get to you, Ruff. I will do Rug. That is gonna be probably the week after, but sometimes you have to do a ballpark music moment, and this isn't ballpark music. This is just when I picked an album that hasn't been released yet.
Oh.
Oh.
And do you know who's about to put out another album?
Oomst.
Who else but our favorite claustrophobia pop lads, and we would look back at you and love you forever.
All right.
I didn't know that.
It comes out. Their mixtape comes out on the 27th.
Well, what's it called?
Let's do that.
I forgot. It's called Estrelita. It's All Love.
Okay, it's called I Forgot.
Nah, it's Estrelita. It's All Love, and this is the mixtape in which they will incorporate cloud rap and other features.
Oh, they've talked about
Okay.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what this has become. This is a weird one.
Yeah.
We got Love You All Over Again by Tongue, Tunng. I think that's called Tongue. That's my pick. Trix, you've picked 2 releases. Are they albums or they EPs?
They are albums.
By Raccoon. Raccoon self-titled and Strange Terrain.
It's so great that we're During a band called Raccoon, because there might be something similar we're doing upcoming. That might be a
And
really funny
Love
thing.
Me All Over Again. That might also be related.
Yeah.
Raccoon Love Me All Over Again, yes.
Yeah.
And then we're also doing more love. We will look back at you, love you forever.
It's almost as if we planned this.
And what's their thing called, Ritz?
It's all love.
Sure. Well, that'll do it for us. My name is Dominic. You can catch me online somewhere, I guess. We have like a blue sky, and this podcast is still on Twitter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw the frisbee one at you. Talk now, please.
I've been Riddleman. You can catch me at some things below. I don't know. I forget. Trix, take it from me.
I've been Trix, and you can catch me somewhere asleep.
Okay. And that'll do it for us. Have a great time at the DMV. Good luck.
Wait, should we officially announce what the interview is next week?
Oh yeah, we're interviewing Raccoon Love.
Yeah, it was a very obvious choice to ask for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have a chat with Raccoon Love. Yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes.
Have a good week, everybody.
Love you all. Mwah.
You.
Love
as
is in the
well.
air, as are raccoons.
Yes.